Hello again. Another rant and ramble about our haircut at the helm. Saw this recently on social media. The very concept of a nation founded by European settlers is offensive to me. Old stock white Canadians are an unpleasant relic, and quite frankly, replaceable, and we will replace them. Justin Trudeau, when asked to comment on his open borders immigration strategy, well, if you find me offensive and an unpleasant relic, well, the feelings that stirs up in me aren't making me feel apologetic. Not at all. Should I read that again? The very concept of a nation founded by European settlers is offensive to me. Old stock white Canadians are an unpleasant relic, and quite frankly, replaceable, and we will replace them. Justin Trudeau, when asked to comment on his open borders immigration strategy. Well, we see through what your open immigration strategy is. You're importing votes, and they're awfully expensive. All said and done, by the time you import these votes, they probably cost about $100,000 a head per year, all things factored in. You know, we give them money, golden medical benefits, they live for free, etc., etc. You might have been better off giving us all $100,000. Some of us might have voted for you again, who knows. Now, the only reason, the platform that Trudeau got in on originally was a haircut. The older gals thought he was cute. His self-proclaimed, I'm a feminist. That might bought a few votes from some of the younger gals. And legalizing pot. It got pretty well everybody's vote. I mean, it was high time that was done, but you notice after that he didn't spend much time on the whole pot thing. It got him where he wanted to go. Now, he didn't quite manage his agenda in the original 4 years. He got back in by a slim margin. And pretty evident what he's up to now. Look at his newfound friends he's lining the cabinet with. I mean, that's pretty self-evident, isn't it? Recently converting, what was he? Recited a prayer for conversion to Islam at a Canadian mosque. Here's what needs to happen, people. He needs to be brought up on charges. All of them. No plea bargaining his way out. And what happens if we do that, and we can do it, it can be done, is it'll wake up all the other hogs at the trough up in Ottawa. Bring this clown up on charges. I mean, he's guilty of everything from self-interest, conflict of interest, through treason, high treason, everything in between. Bring him up on charges. The other politicians are going to go, whoa, the old ways, the public's not putting up with that anymore. Excuse me. You know, we bring the dupe, the haircut at the helm, and he's a dupe, being led by the nose, by his newfound friends. Their agenda, pretty straightforward. So we bring the clown, the dupe, the haircut, up on charges. Whoa, the paper shredders and the delete button. They'll be working overtime up in Ottawa. Our apathy, our sitting back and saying, well, you know, what can be done? You know, the lesser of evils, who do you vote for? Well, certainly not this guy. Now, there's one of the problems is, you know, we're not unified the way we should be. Part of his objective with a dictatorship and where he's going and all that is, divide and conquer. Well, united we stand. Now, the people in the West, a lot of them are leaning towards separating from the country. Can't say as I blame them. But I implore you, my fellow Canadians, whether you're in the West, the East, the North, wherever, we need to stand united. Now, the people in Ontario, I'm not going to get into the reasons why. They're not quite as aware of the issues, the big problems that we're facing as a people. I won't say our enemies in Ottawa, I'll say the opposition to our remaining a whole, healthy, democratic country. The people in Ontario, they're not as quite as aware of it, but we are suffering the same fate as what the rest of the country is. So please, I implore you, people in the West and in the North, don't think the populace in Ontario isn't with you and isn't suffering and headed for the same fate. For some reason, we just haven't woken up to it quite as quickly. Now, there's a fellow named Rudy Bruce. What would you say? Well, he's a champion of the people, trying to spread his interpretation of, we need to stand united. I can't quite directly quote him, and I'm not going to attempt to, but he said, if you're born in Canada, you're a Canadian. And that includes the First Nations people. Now, in speaking to the First Nations people, your fellow Canadians, us citizens, civilians, we're not your enemy. It's been the government all along. Now, they might be trying to placate you at the moment, signing treaties, throwing money at you. Well, you've learned what their treaties and their word is worth. We need to stand with you, the First Nations people, and you need to stand with us. Because, again, to the First Nations people, you're considered infidels every bit as much as us old stock white folk are. I'm not sure what the Eastern Province's opinion are. I think the haircut's buying out most of Quebec. I mean, and again, I address you people in Quebec. You've had your separatist issues too, all along. Doesn't matter what I think about that. I'm not sure what to think about it actually, but in the eyes of the haircut and his newfound friends, you're infidels too. So we all need to stand together. Now, to go back to Rudy Bruce, the man is straightforward speaking fella. He doesn't want to lead the nation. He doesn't claim to be a great orator, speechifying type orator, whatever. But the man speaks the plain truth. And there's a lot of other, I'll call them citizens coalitions, I don't know what the proper term is, who are thinking along the same vein that we need to unify and arrest what's happening in Ottawa. And it's going to happen. It grows every day. I see it just a little more every day. People are waking up. People are saying, hey, whoa, this has got to stop. And it's got to stop. It's got to be brought to a halt before the haircut and his newfound friends accomplish their objective, which is fracturing the country, pitting us against them, us against us. He's doing his best to squelch the media, take away the guns. It's all been done before in recorded history. It's how every dictator, every despot runs his program. But this is a new day and age. People are more enlightened. We have social media. And speaking of media, the haircut, he's trying to squelch the Canadian press. He wants anything they want to say to be approved through government channels first. Well, there goes that freedom of speech thing again. Again, part of the program we've seen done in the past before. However, that can't be done. These marvelous little handheld devices we have put us in global communication. And don't think the rest of the world isn't watching very carefully what's going on. I think perhaps a lot of them see clearer looking in from outside than what a lot of people see here looking in or from inside. He's not going to get away with it. You know, he he's gotten to some pretty desperate ploys when it comes right down to it. I mean, the veil of secrecy on the agenda has been dropped. He's moving hard and fast and desperately. He knows darn well if another vote comes up anytime soon, well, he's going to have to count on his newfound friends that he's shoveling into the country at $100,000 a head as hard and fast as he can shovel them in through the door. But I don't think it's going to work. I sure hope it doesn't anyways. So, people out there, please, I implore you, we've got to stick together. We're Canadians. Like Rudy Bruce say, if you're born in Canada, you're Canadian. And we've got to stand united. Again, I can understand why the people in the West would want to separate. I really do. But it's not the answer. It's what he and his newfound friends want to have happen. Please don't let it happen. To everyone in the country, please open your eyes, see what's going on, stick together. I implore you, please. It is us against them, but them aren't us. If you follow what I'm saying, them are them. They're not us. Our haircut at the helm might have a Canadian citizenship, but he's far and away from being a loyal Canadian. He's got his own agenda, believe me. What he doesn't realize is he's a dupe being led by the nose. He's a puppet for some people who have some ill intention on this nation. And it's got to stop.